Did Jerome Powell just come and save the day and save us from ourselves and give us a massive BTC bounce? Today, I'm going to show you my BTC plan. We're going to figure out if that was the bottom. Then we're talking Ethereum things because we're turning bullish on ETH again. I'm going to show you why. And then I've got a narrative for you guys that I think is going to give us that Hawaiian shirt that you're seeing in my tile. I think we can all go chill once we get involved in this. I'm going to talk to you about a narrative. I'm going to get you some entries on these things if you guys haven't got it yet. So we got so much to talk about today, guys. Let's get right into this. I mean, I just love it when Banter Bubbles goes bright green like this. It's just always such a good feeling. It always means the hard work was done. It always means we fought for our entries. It also tells us that we've been through a stressful time. And then when we get this green, we just get this weight lifted off our shoulders, especially the leverage traders there, the guys that were sweating bullets on those drawdowns, and the guys that were panic selling on support. Now, hopefully you guys listened to me when I said to you, don't sell your old coins and don't sell your tokens, because we're looking for these bounces first before we get too dramatic. So just taking a look at the front page here on Banter Bubble, Sui has woken up, Cass has woken up. That was a beautiful setup that we dropped in Sniper Club the other day. Sui, I do have Sui for you. We're going to talk about that as well today. And just BCH, and then somebody's shouted at me and said XRP is moving. Now I'm a little bit offended. Is it, Ray, is XRP moving?
XRP is going to the moon. Nobody knows why. Nobody can tell us why.
I can't believe it. Okay, so if it's bad, if it's really ripping, I'll get that chart up. But I'm going to try and avoid as long as possible. I see Alex says go on the hourly. We sweating again. Okay, well guys, I'm going to give you the whole plan. I'm going to tell you the story with BTC. I'm going to tell you what I think is going to happen. So let's actually just jump into this 2-hour chart right now and stop beating around the bush. Okay, here we go. So right now, this is BTC. This is BTC on the full hour that I've prepped for you guys. And what did we see yesterday? Let's just recap where we were. I mean, we really broke some big zones. Yesterday, we were fighting some major resistance here. We've popped through it. Okay, so that was a great start. Then while we were live on Run Show, we were talking about breaking this next level at 65,500. That was massive for us. So that was a huge area for us. And what did that mean? It meant we had horizontals there, and we had 382 fib resistance as well, and we had the trend. So that was a huge area for us. So once we got that pop, is what we really wanted to see, and nothing too dramatic here. I think at the moment this looks like a bullish little pullback here. So those of you that are sweating, those of you that are stressing, what am I watching today? What are my levels here for this pullback where I remain bullish on BTC? Well, the first level here is 65,500. Okay, so we're going to keep our eyes on this 65,500. Bulls, we're looking for this little bounce here, something along these lines. Then we've got a nice horizontal. We can't ignore this 64,550. Okay, that's a nice little horizontal that could give us a bounce. And then we got the banger. We got the 618 that comes to the rescue so many times when we literally sweating bullets here. That 618 comes to the rescue, and here it is at the bottom, 63,700. So these are the levels that I'm watching today. These are the levels that keep me still bullish on BTC. That 618 is going to be a push, though. It's going to annoy me, but we can't be too bearish until we've tested that 618. So if you are sitting in positions here, this is what you need to be watching. Don't sweat too much. Let's watch this level by level, look for these reactions on these areas, and just don't stress. Don't stress. We've got a trend break. Remember how happy you were 2 hours ago. Okay, let's enjoy the moment. And what am I watching now for upside? Well, this is a massive area here, and this is the area that could be the area that actually sends us back to hell. And when I'm saying hell, I'm saying sub 60K. So we need to just watch this area carefully. Number one, it's a 618 retracement pool here, very strong area. Number two, it's a big horizontal. So if we are going to get some kind of reaction here, we need to just be careful, because there'll be two types of scenarios we can look for here. This first rejection could potentially be the one that starts that new downtrend and drops us below 60. But the bulls can always come and step in and save the day if we get that rejection and we get that reaction again at the 64,500 level. I'm going to show you what that could potentially look like and just give you some bull energy here so we can actually ring this bull bell. So maybe... Okay, who's feeling better now? Who's feeling better? Okay, so if we do get this push up, let's say we get this push up here, we get our rejection, the bulls are going to say, well, this is where we're buying because we want this inverse head and shoulders, and this is our T box. This is where we're teeing it up on the slingshot for all-time highs. So I'm going to tell you now, if we do get a rejection here after banging the 69K, we're going to be teeing up some longs here because it's going to be looking too juicy at the 64,500. So let's let things play out a little bit. But I still want to see this 69K pinged. I'm going to show you why. I like this liquidation heat map here, this coin glass liquidation heat map. And you can see what they've got here on Binance. They've got a nice juicy liquidation level up here. And to me, it makes sense. If the market makers want to have some fun, that is their fun zone. That is where they want to go. And have a little bit of action, have a little bit of a party. So 68, 69, that sort of level makes sense on the liquidation heat map that they might want to come and visit us in these areas. And then, you know, once we've pinged this region, then we get to decide, you know, are the bulls going to step in there and keep pushing this thing higher, or are they actually just going to reverse it and send us and give Uncle a run? He's 49K. I'm sure he was talking about 49K. So let's see how that's going to play out. Right, who's in the chats here? Where are my people? What is going on? Yeah, I see Panda Poet says XRP is going to 16 cents. That sounds like quite a nice little target. Let's see. Mornay says cooking dinner with dill in the kitchen. Nice, bro. Nice. I hope you're enjoying my Hawaiian shirt today. Let's see. Rapur says, yes, I am indeed. I pulled the bull shirt out, guys. You know, when we're bullish, we pull the shirt out. We got to get these buttons open and we got to get excited. I see Dinesh is looking for some near. What else we got? Zweletu's here. Panda Posters here. Okay, there's a nice mix here. Right. Let's move on. Let's move on. Let's look at something in the news here. I mean, this guy, you know, he just came and he saved the day. Okay, so I just love this tweet. Good morning. Let's celebrate Jerome Powell today. He's managed to get stocks to record highs, Bitcoin to new all-time highs, economy humming along robustly, all with interest rates at 40-year highs. Is there anything this man can't do? Well, I tell you what, he literally saved so many people from liquidations and all these things last night with these little FOMC, and he made people very, very happy. He literally saved the day. And look at that, he's giving us that thumbs up. He's actually pointing. We just knew he was going to pump it. It was written in the stars. And then this was cool, this Lambda telling us that funding has completely reset back to baseline levels. So, you know, there's reasons around here why we could be feeling a little bit short-term bullish. And we're just going to watch things carefully. And this is another big one that you guys have to keep paying attention to. And I harp on about this all the time on my show. You guys must be sick of it when you're watching me. But this BTC dominance, it's been very slow and it's been very quiet over the last couple of weeks. But it's, you know, it's not really something we used to. We like to see big moves in this dominance. This is what creates a lot of action for us on a lot of these tokens. But right now, what am I looking for? I really just want to see this dominance start drifting and lose this trend. And this little move here for us is going to give us a lot of fun. It's going to give us a lot of action. And that is really what altcoin traders want to see. We just want to see it lose this trend, and then we're going to have fun. And you'll be surprised. That little move on dominance, a couple of percent, can really light things up in the altcoin world there. So that's really what I'm looking for as an altcoin trader. But right now we need to understand dominance is on trend support. Dominance is on 50-day MA support. So, you know, all things being equal, if we play a trend and we do these things until it breaks, well, we need to assume that the next move for dominance is in fact actually might be a push higher. Okay, what does that look like? Is that with BTC pumping or is that with BTC dumping? Because the recipe looks a little bit different. You know, BTC pumping, the alts might be okay, but BTC dumping, well, we're going to fetch these alts out of their graveyards. And, you know, that's going to be interesting. So 2 big moves on the table here for dominance. We need to keep our eyes on this, but it looks like we are moving into a zone in the next couple of weeks where a big move is going to be coming, and hopefully it's going to be in the altcoin traders' favor here. I see Mel and Eve is talking about Stewie narrative here. I see you guys are still shouting about Ҳemule the cat. Guys, these meme coins are going to come back. Don't you worry about that. They will make a new appearance as soon as everybody starts relaxing again. Let's see what else we got here. So JK says, dominate the likes. Guys, remember, if you're enjoying the content and you like the content, hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell so that you know when I go live. And don't forget, tomorrow is a little bit more of a DGen show that I'm going to be doing for you guys. And I've got another special guest, and we're talking a couple of meme coins, but I'm bringing in a guy that's actually going to educate you. He's going to teach you how to buy meme coins. He's going to teach you how he goes about it, how to assess a meme coin project, not just to go into 𝗪𝗧𝗪 and buy absolute dog shit. He wants to show you how he does it, and it's something you don't want to miss. So make sure you guys are tuned in for tomorrow. It's going to be fun, a little bit of a DGen spin, but if you're getting smashed on these meme coins and things like that, you want to listen to this man. He's going to have some great advice for you. Okay, let's look at my first thing. My first thing today is it's an Ethereum situation. So I mean, yesterday we saw 𝗬𝗣𝗅𝗧𝗪. They dropped this report. It was all over the news. The ETH Foundation under investigation by state authority. And what did that do? That dumped ETH 7.5% in one candle. They absolutely smashed it. And the best part about this is, meanwhile, look at this tweet from 360 Trader. Meanwhile, BlackRock deposits 100 million USDC on the Ethereum network, and there was a lot more going on. It almost felt so orchestrated yesterday, the way they dropped that news and pushing the market down a few percent before they sent it up. It was actually too obvious. And on the live Sniper Club stream, I was actually saying that it felt too obvious what these guys were trying to do. And if you want to hear about ETH misinformation and things like that, follow this guy. I'm 𝗪𝗪𝗪𝗪. That's his name. He says, "Cy, again, the ETH misinformation train." So read what he has to say. He's making some valid points on why we should be secretly or openly bullish on this ETH narrative still, because in spite of what people are saying, that this ETF might not be approved, we've got a lot of support for it still, and there's a lot of reasons why we can be bullish on this ETH trade. And I mean, I'm sure some of you guys have seen this video floating around on the net, and this is 𝗪𝗪𝗫𝗠𝗪 basically telling everyone that ETH wasn't a security back in the day. Okay, so now maybe they're trying to use this as an argument and all these types of things, but that's for the fundamental guys to debate. What I'm looking at here is a potential ETH bullish trade, and leading into, you know, this potential ETH ETF. And look, bearing in mind that with this investigation now, which seems so orchestrated, they might start using this as a tool in the news to start dominating or controlling the price of ETH if they ever need some kind of pullback. So just keep that in the back of your mind, that these guys might start filtering some news out on ETH that could be negative. But for me, I'm going to show you a couple of reasons why I like this ETH trade at the moment for the next couple of weeks. And just again, another nice point here, BSC in the headlines. They're just dropping some news here. There's just a lot of support here, and a lot of bullish reasons why we can be interested in ETH at the moment. And then BlackRock, look, I mean, we all know the story now. BlackRock enters the asset tokenization race with new fund on the ETH network. Okay, so, and we know they're getting so stuck in, and there's been adjustments made to their ETF applications and all these types of things. And I mean, here we go. We got Binance Labs also talking positively about ETH. Okay, enough reasons on paper why we can be bullish about ETH. Let's look at an actual chart and try and decide, you know, is this a time to maybe start looking at ETH again? And to me, this is ETH BTC on the weekly, and I'm loving the look at this. This is major support here for us. We've tested the support multiple times. Again, we're going to trade support on a weekly time frame. We trade those supports until they actually break. And what is this telling us? This is telling us this is bounce time now for ETH versus BTC. So we've had a nice bounce before. We had a massive run on ETH. We had another bounce again. We had a huge run on ETH. And here we are back again. Is it bounce time? Well, guys, this is a major weekly level. This is a potential bounce zone for me. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a bounce even just to this resistance zone on ETH versus BTC. And what does that mean for me? That means I want to get long, and I want to be longer on my current ETH position. So subject to this chart obviously now losing support, I'm using this as my guide. So here's ETH, our bigger picture ETH play, and you can see how this has played out so nicely. This is ETH USD on the weekly. And our big support marker that we can keep our eyes on now is the weekly candle lows. This is 3,050. You can see what they've done here. They sent it down. They tested the 50-day moving average. They tested a little weekly level here for us. You can see that tight little level in this zone. You can see we had some confluence in this region, and now this is my support marker. This is my support base for ETH here. 3,050 is what I'm watching now on this weekly time frame. And then how do I find an entry? Let's say I'm looking for an ETH position. Let's say you are feeling bullish on ETH. What's 𝗕𝗣𝗖𝗨𝗦𝗑𝗢 saying here? He says Dylan Whiff conspiracy. I don't like to be a conspiracist, but I mean, when something just looks so obvious, you know, we got to call it what it is. We got to call it what it is. Okay, so if you're looking for a potential entry on ETH, well, I mean, you're in the right place. So if things are going to remain bullish, you're going to find a lot of these coins, a lot of these tokens going to have a similar look now. They've broken trends, or they've broken through resistance areas. And now the next phase, okay, the next phase in the trade, the next trade is always trying to grab those pullbacks, those reversal areas. And you know, like I always say to you guys, the best trades and the best entries are going to be on these red days, when we're dropping into major support levels, when we're feeling miserable, when we're hating life. Those are the days we get our entries. That was yesterday. That was the day before, when we were taking those longs off these supports. Now we're looking at secondary entries. What are secondary entries? Trend breaks, horizontal breaks, these types of things. And now we're looking for these retests in these areas, so we can go for round two. Now remember, you push these things up, they tend to come back for us and give us secondary entries. And if they're going to stay bullish, they tend to generally bounce in bullish zones. Okay, so the first area I'm looking for ETH, if I'm bullish on ETH here, where am I looking for my first entry as a leverage trader? Where am I looking for my first entry as potentially a margin trader? Those type of things. That is my first number, this pullback to 3380. That is my first sort of area of interest for me. And then a little bit lower down, I've got a 618 in play here and some horizontals tied in, 3,260. That is my next level here to remain bullish on ETH. These are the levels that I need to hold, and these need to tie in now with BTC having a little pullback onto its corresponding 382, onto its corresponding 618 that you can see over here. So get out your charts, you try and grab your trend lines, get a feel for it, pull those fibs from the low to the high, and start trying to tie in where are your major support zones. Because if this market's going to stay bullish, the number one place you generally are going to find is probably a 382 pullback onto some horizontal confluence. And this little picture here looks quite juicy here for me for ETH. So ETH traders, this is basically what it's going to look like. If you're looking for a position, if you're bullish on the market and you're saying that was the bottom, well, then you need to be buying pullbacks. Then you need to be buying bullish pullbacks onto good supports. And then the ETH traders, that is what you're going to look like. This is your first type of position that you're going to try for. And that's your entry down at about 3380. And potential upside, you want to chase the highs. That's going to be the target. So your potential upside here is about 20% on ETH for move number one that we're going to be looking for. And again, assumptions we're making, the market stays bullish, the market's broken trend, and that was the bottom of this particular move. If those are falling in place for you, then these are your bullish zones. These are the areas that you're going to be buying a lot of your tokens on any types of pullbacks that they give us. I see Chi says Stacks is going to melt faces. Make money, travel, enjoy. Says I should listen more to Dylan. Guys, just listen. Just listen. I even put it on my tile the other day. I had my hand up on the tile and it said, do not sell. Okay, because we're on major support. And, you know, and then I brought up 𝗪𝗘𝗖𝗨𝗥𝗑 for you guys yesterday to tell you got to look him in the eyes. Every time you sell your coins, just get a picture of 𝗪𝗘𝗖𝗨𝗥𝗑 out, look him in the eyes and be like, understand that you're selling it to that guy. Every time you do it, especially if you're capitulating on major support, you need to know who's buying your tokens, who's buying your BTC. Okay, let me show you before I get into this new narrative. So stick around. I'm going to show you this narrative now that is going to give us all Hawaiian shirts. I just wanted to update you on my WEEX account. So not too long ago, about a week ago, I set that limit order on it was Bonk we were looking for, and Bonk, they actually front ran my trade, so I never got my entry on WEEX. So this is the exchange I'm using, WEEX. You can grab a link to this in the description. It's got quite a cool offering at the moment. What they're actually saying here is they've got $300 rinse protection for your first trade. So basically, they are protecting your losses for your first trade. Okay, so you send your money there, you deposit your money, you take your first trade, they're saving your losses, they're defending you and giving you rinse protection for $300 if you sign up to WEEX using the link in the description. And they are also KYC friendly, as in you don't need to KYC on this exchange. You can trade on them, till your heart's content. And then number two, they also have deposit bonuses, and they've got a sliding scale of deposit bonuses. And one of the biggest tiers actually gives you a 10% deposit bonus for what you are putting in, and the average is about 5%. So if you're interested in WEEX, take a look. The link's in the description. Take advantage of this offer that they are giving you guys. And the trade that now I have taken for WEEX is Ocean Protocol, and I just wanted to update you guys on it and show you the Ocean chart. So for me, it was a play on the, obviously on this bounce that we've just had. You can see it was a small position here on Ocean. My average entry now is 1.04. I did add to that position a little bit. And here's the Ocean chart. So this is how I'm playing the current Ocean situation. And we saw a very nice move on Ocean. And let me just get my pen out, if they'll give it to me. There's my pen. We saw a really nice move on Ocean off this horizontal and 786. And then we had just a beautiful pump. Now, what have we got here? We've got a resistance zone now for Ocean. So I've got my eyes closely fixated on this horizontal here. This is resistance area. You can see. So all these trades, all these things are going to struggle now at resistance areas. But if we remain bullish, we're going to take advantage of any pullbacks into bullish areas. So what I'm going to do here for Ocean is I'm going to set another order here for my trade to try and pick up some more on any pullbacks here at the 382, and then I'm going to add a little bit more to pick up some pullbacks here on the 618. So these are my two areas of interest for me. So if we do get a pullback and I'm remaining bullish, I'm going to nip a little bit of Ocean here, and I'm going to grab a little bit more over there, and that's my strategy. So if I'm staying bullish on these tokens, they must hold the 382, they must hold the 618. If they don't, we reassess, and we deal with things there. Then the market is looking a little bit sad. So my plan for Ocean, I'm adding at 1.1, and then I'm going to have one more crack at entry here at the 618 region at 1.04, and that should give me then a decent sized position. And if we stay bullish, then we are cooking, and this thing is starting to fly. Okay, there you go. There's your lesson on WEEX. And it's going well. And don't forget, underneath my show, you can click a link in the description here. And there's a shopping list here for you guys. There's a lot happening here. I've got Prime XBT. You guys have seen me trading Prime XBT. There's also great sign-up bonuses there. There's WEEX. There's BitGet. There's exchanges here. Try this Avio as well. Trade perps on Alt before they launch on Avio. No KYC. Sign up today. Okay, and you can win an Apple Vision Pro. So try this Avio out. There's no KYC as well. Give them a go. And then Sniper Club. I'm always talking about Sniper Club. There is a Sniper Club link in the description below. And I will actually, let me just tell you about Sniper Club quickly. This is Sniper Club, okay? Imagine every day you wake up in the morning and you think, I wonder what the market's doing, and I wonder what 25 charts are doing right now. I wish I had the time to go and get entries on some of these charts, okay? Then you open your Sniper Club Discord and you realize that I've dumped 20 to 30 charts of my personal watch list into Sniper Club every day with trade ideas, trade setups, including that Ocean, including that CAS that you've seen pumping 19%. Those setups are all sitting there in my section. You can wake up, you can open your Discord, you can go and look at all the potential setups, you can look at all the areas of interest, the entries, the TPs, all these things I'm giving you guys in the Sniper Club. On top of that, obviously, Sheldon is in there as well, dropping his alpha, dropping his setup. We're also dropping signals. And then Dave, DJ and Dave's in there, Bruce is in there, Simon's in there, we got Rodolfo in there. There's a massive team in the Sniper Club looking after all your needs in there, even from airdrops to fundamental analysis. The guys are there. Take a look at Sniper Club if you're interested in that, and you don't have time to do your own charting and all these types of things, and you want to learn how to trade. We do all these Zoom sessions for you guys. So take a look at the Sniper Club. Come hang out with us there and test it out for a month or two, and you won't turn back. You will become a better trader. Okay, here we go. This is the narrative. This is why we're all going to have these Hawaiian shirts. We're going to be chilling on islands. We're going to be doing all these things. Now, I'm not going to play you the video because it takes a little bit of admin here. Unless you're desperate to hear the video, you can follow the crypto law. But basically, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, gives you the biggest alpha for free. Okay, and you still fumble, he says. Okay, basically, Larry Fink is spelling it out for you: instantaneous settlement, distributed ledger, everything to be tokenized. Okay, so BlackRock is bullish on RWAs. What does that mean? These RWAs are here to stay. These RWAs are here to pump, and they are going to be big movers, and we are still early. Okay, that's what we need to know, that you are essentially still early. You've missed the first pump. So what? Okay, I'm going to give you some tokens here. I'm going to give you some setups. I'm going to give you some entries that you can play around with. Some of these, you want to try and snag some entries on these RWAs. If you are as bullish on RWAs as the rest of Twitter and the rest of the market and BlackRock and all these types of things, you're going to want a piece of some of these tokens. So number one, you can follow Rodolfo. He's Crypto Rodo, Rodolfo Pozo A. Okay, so follow him on Twitter. He's dropping some alpha here for you guys, and he does a lot of fundamental research for us in the Sniper Club as well, and he's giving you some tips on a couple of tokens that you can be looking at as well, and he's giving you a little watch list. So if you don't know what RWAs are, well, there you go. He's giving you a little watch list that you can play with. So now you can set that up on your side, on your trading view, and you can start doing your own research if you want on some of these tokens. So I'm going to give you some entries on a couple of these that you're seeing here. And remember, just because we've had a big move now doesn't mean, that's the end. It doesn't mean it can't move again and again and again. And remember, if you are a long-term player here and you're looking for the long-term game, and you're playing that game, you just want to look for big areas. You want to look for good areas and pullbacks onto great zones. And I'm going to give you a couple of areas of interest. And then if you want to learn more about this narrative, you can check out CoinGecko. They've released an RWA report. There are some very interesting points in here, but I'm here for the charts, not for reading novels to you guys, but it is interesting shit. For all the fundamental guys, take a look at this. That should help you on your way to understanding what is going on. Okay, the first one, it's the big dog, it's ONDO. And we all know about it. And when this news came out, we saw what happened here. This thing just absolutely ripped. But what I want to point out again, guys, and it's very notable here, what did it rip from? What did it actually bounce off? Okay, this is so notable for you guys. Again, take note, 618 horizontal 50-day moving average. What did it do? It came down, it crept down, it settled onto a massive zone. And we had people sweating in these areas. We had people trying to sell in these massive areas. And what happened? When you start capitulating on major support and major areas, you start getting huge moves on some of these tokens. So this is ONDO on the 4 hour that I'm watching. And for those of you that are in it, well, you're absolutely flying. So hats off to you guys. Those of you that aren't in it, well, what do we need to do? We need to figure out a strategy here as to how we can start getting little bits of this in case it's going to run away from us. So the first thing I like to do when things are pumping like this is try and identify my most bullish areas and my most solid zones where I can get my potential pullbacks on these things, where I can nibble and start building a position or start building an entry. Obviously, no one likes that feeling of buying the top. And, we don't want to get into that situation. So what happens with a lot of these tokens, at some point, they start consolidating. And once they start consolidating, that is what gives us our opportunity for round two. That is what gives us our next potential entry zone and things like that. So for ONDO, this is what I'm looking at the moment. I'm looking for, at some point, they need to actually start reversing this, give us some kind of consolidation, some kind of flag. And then what are you going to do? Where am I buying it? Well, these are areas of interest for me. This is a 236 fib. It's the most bullish fib that you get. This is 0.72. So that's an area I'm going to have a nibble. I'm going to grab a little bit of this here. 0.72, 0.73. Okay, that's a hot zone. Next hot zone for me, 382, tied in with horizontal, loving this area. Okay, this is another very bullish zone here for us, 0.66. Okay, that's another hot zone, number 2 for us. And then if they really want to dump it, I would say this is a gift. Okay, this is now an offering here. If this RWA is going to stay bullish, which I suspect it's going to be, here's a nice level for you, 0.56. Okay, 0.56, another hot zone. So these are 3 potential hot zones here. If this move of the market, number one, if that was the bottom of the move, we know at some point these alts are going to consolidate or give us some kind of pullback. These are the areas you want to be buying. These are your 3 hot zones for ONDO. And then we are chasing some big levels here. We are chasing things a lot higher for ONDO. So remember, we are still early in these things in spite of a big move in 24 hours. Just imagine what these things can do over the next 6 months, over the next year. Imagine where these things can go. Onka says he's looking for some ARB action. I see we've got guys looking for some FTM as well. I do have an FTM chart for you guys. Yes, I do. I've got FTM Sol Cass. As soon as I'm done giving you guys the Hawaiian shirts, that you deserve. We'll get into some of these others, and it includes CAS. And I actually closed my CAS trade. So when I saw this message now, CAS is flying, I'm feeling a little bit salty now. But I'll talk to you about that shortly. Okay, the next big one for us, and you saw it on that guy's tweet, was RIO, or RELIO it's called. So the ticker is RIO, the token is RELIO that you want to start looking at, and starting a beautiful pullback here. So this is perfectly acceptable here. After a massive pump like that, we are looking for some downside. So this is now your opportunity starting to brew here for you. This is your opportunity in the making, with RIO starting to drift a little bit lower. So the first area of interest, now remember, we are at all-time highs, so we don't have any support on this candle right now. So this is a little bit tricky for us. So what you need to do is actually start identifying your solid horizontal supports first. These are going to be your big zones where you should get some kind of reaction, some kind of or stronger reaction. So zone number one, I'm watching 382 fib. Okay, this is 1.29. Okay, this is first level. Okay, hopefully now we're going to get some kind of consolidation here, some kind of flag in this region. What does it look like? Hopefully it's going to look something along these lines, and we're going to play that flag until it eventually breaks. And the bulls are going to say, well, we want this flag to break to the upside. So what are we going to watch here? Area number one where you can look for buys, 1.29. Bigger zone, much bigger zone here, 1.17. Okay, that's a great area. Look out for a push even into the 618 at 1.1. So 1.17 and 1.1. Okay, these are nice nibble zones. These are areas where you can get a bounce. And remember, as long as it even bounces down here in this region, this is still technically bullish. It's printing a higher low for you. So even if there was some panic buying and they pumped this thing all the way, we do have another level for you, 0.96. Okay, all of these levels could be regions where you're going to get a nice little bounce and a nice opportunity for this RELIO token, or this RIO that you're looking at. So level number one, let's just confirm one more time, 1.29. Then I've got a juicy one here, 1.17. Okay, then we've got a bigger one here, 0.96. Okay, all of them are perfectly acceptable levels here where you can get some moves, where you can start nibbling on some of these guys. So mark it on your chart, set your alarms on trading views, and on trading view. And often these moves happen when you're not paying attention. So at least you will get pinged, and then you can go in and execute your order, or you can set limit orders and things like that if you have spot, and then you can get it. Going. Okay. The next big one that I was interested in, prop base, it's called. Okay. So this is an interesting one as well. Big mover off decent horizontal support here. So this is looking interesting here for us. This was big support, 0.040. That's a big zone now we need to keep our eyes on, 0.040. And right now, look, it does have a minor trend break, but I don't really want to call that a trend. This looks more like just a range high to me that we actually need to be playing with and paying attention to. So what I would say here, if you are looking for a position, well, you're effectively buying it near the top of a move. So you need to understand, if you're buying this here, you're buying it at a potential resistance area. What I would recommend, again, if you want to be safer and things like that, and you want to buy on supports rather than buying into resistance, you want to buy on big support regions. And what is another example of a big support? Here's another example, a pump up here and a pullback into that region. That would confirm a nice little support for you guys to play with. And that could be then a nice buy on any retest into that zone. That could be a nice buy because it also gives you a nice pretty picture as to where you can exit. If you really want to exit, at loss of support, then you can start cutting these things. So that's why I don't like to personally buy, too much into a resistance area. What you want to do, let it pop, let it settle down, and let it do a simple little retest, or come lower, buy it on support. So remember, we've had a big pump on these tokens, super big move. Is it sustainable for multiple days in a row? It's difficult to say, but at some point we consolidate. At some point they give us these pullbacks, and then you get your opportunity. So remember, Arweave and those type of things, for example, when they started pumping, they gave you multiple days of pumps, but in between there were moments where it consolidated for you. So you're never really missing. You're never really missing these things. Okay, let's see. Prince says, Beard the man. I love his show. I think that's good. Okay, here's another one. Here's another RWA play. Okay, this is an interesting one for me. Okay, this is called LEOX. Galileo protocol. You can buy it on MEXC. There is a MEXC link as well in the description. If you're not on MEXC, MEXC link in the description. Grab it there. You can buy it on MEXC. And here's an interesting play here for you at the moment. So this LEOX has now started moving to the range high. So what we've identified here is a nice little range low. Look at this beautiful bounce. Now, you're going to see this on so many tokens, okay? Bouncing, reacting off massive zones, okay? This was the 200-day moving average, okay? When we were dripping and sweating and bleeding into the zone during these dumps, okay? When you're pinging the 200-day MA after something like a 30 or 40% meltdown, that is not the place you want to be selling, okay? On support like that. This is where the guys get you. This is where people capitulate, and then they pump these things up. It always happens that way. So really, when you are sweating out and you're feeling pressure and the market's dumping and you're really feeling unhappy, just be aware of yourself. Zoom out, look at this weekly chart, and or just a bigger time frame, and understand where's your big levels. And you know, am I really going to be selling on this major support level? You know, after a big move down. I mean, these guys dumped 35%. Okay, onto major support. Now they started climbing back. Let's look at the move, and so far they've recovered 40%. Okay, so what can I see now on this LEOX? So number one, I'm watching range high. Okay, my assumption here is RWAs with BlackRock and all these things happening. I would like to see this LEOX start breaking these highs here, the 0.87, and then really starting to push. So you can see a nice consolidation here, a nice big range. We saw this with Link for a very long time as well. And at some point, these consolidations, they start blowing. And if we bullish, this thing should start blowing to the upside. So could this be the start of that move where it starts climbing? Yes, potentially it could. What areas of support am I watching? Well, here's a great zone for you right here. 100-day moving average and 50-day moving average now has been broken. So that is our first area that we look at as potential support. Let's see what type of fibbage we have here for tie-in. And I actually like this here with this. Oh, you can see what's happened here. Look at this. It's pinged the 236 fib. Okay, so there's your 236, your most bullish fib. What does it do? Comes back, pings it, reacts on it. Okay, what do we know about LEOX now? We know we've got support here 0.748. We've got support here 0.729 and down to the 382 fib. So anything from 0.7 for me up to 0.75, that is a nice juicy zone that you can start playing in. That's a nice juicy zone that you can look for buys in, all these types of things. And that is your assumption then that we're going to hold this region, and we want to push higher on these RWAs. So keep your eyes on these levels. Nice juicy area here, and we've got multiple reasons why this should offer us support. We've got horizontals, 50-day moving average, 100-day moving average. We've got a 382 and we have a 236 fib. So that looks nice and juicy there. And don't forget Big Dog hanging down below. Okay, when we're feeling pain, there's Big Dog over here for you, 0.65. Okay, those are your levels, those are your hot zones, and we are bullish on Galileo or LEOX until we lose these lows. Okay, so no reason you know, to be bearish on this thing at any time if there's a pullback, unless you start losing this 200-day moving average, which is where it's rocketed off and rocketed from. So keep your eyes on this one. I think that's going to be a banger. Charlie says FTM is flying. Let's go. Let's look at FTM. No, you got me so excited there, bro. What are you watching? 5-minute candles. Charlie, come on. Eh? So here we are. So FTM 4 hour and looking good. So I am in a FTM position, and you know, I'm just tracking it now sort of level by level. And what I wanted to show you guys, again, scalper zone. If you are you know, you're looking for entries, let's say you missed a bullish token. Let's say FTM is now flying. We know Sonic, we know all the news around it, we know all the hype, and we know, you know, when you get hype like this, it lasts a week or two, and then it eventually dies down. But while we have these rising trends, while we have these hypes and all these types of things, you want to start looking for scalper zones where you can start snagging a few entries. So what I wanted to show you here on Phantom, nice little push up and move back into the 618 fib. Okay, that's what they gave us the other day. So nice little 618 reaction. Look at that. And what I did then for the next move was I pulled from the lows to the highs, and I'm looking for a 618 reaction. So for me, this is telling me if Phantom moves into this zone, this is a potential reaction zone. This is a potential zone where I can add to my position if I'm trying to grow the size and all these types of things. That is a zone of interest for me. So Phantom traders, okay, watching 1 on the button. Okay, this is 1, and we don't really want to go much deeper than 1, because if you're looking at Phantom on that weekly chart, you can see this is a big area now for us that we actually want to hold, and we want to start teeing up the Phantom trade to 1.6. So we know there's a potential 60% move coming here for Phantom, and if the market's going to stay bullish, we want to be able to snag an entry here, and I quite like the look of this 618. So at 1, that is an area that I'm interested in. And then remember, as always, if we've got a rising trend, we can keep dancing while the trend's in play. This is our fun line, okay? So we have fun on the left-hand side of this trend. When we start losing this trend, we start having less fun, okay? So let's say they start bleeding us out. We can't be too bearish until we've lost this rising trend. So there's another potential opportunity there for you on Phantom at 0.9, okay? So until we've lost this trend, which will look something along these lines, we can't be bearish. This trend is rising. There's news in the air. People are hyping Phantom again. Andre Cronje's all over Twitter again, talking about all the magical things that he's done. So, you know, for us Phantom fans, watch this rising trend, look for entries until we lose the trend. We play the trend until we lose it. Let's see. Make money, travel, enjoy says, what about prop CRWA? So yeah, I'm going to show you guys something interesting. I've actually got a watch list here for you guys. And I mean, what you can do is you can either do your own research, okay? And or you can come join Sniper Club, and Rodolfo will drop this list and drop some info on some of these tokens in the Sniper Club for you guys. But here is a RWA list for you guys. So top RWA assets, this is CoinGecko. Okay, so you can just follow this list yourself, and you can take a look at all the big tokens that are in play here, all the best ones. And yeah, you'll find one that suits you. Do your own research, obviously, and you know, try and identify the ones that you think will have legs and are sustainable. So that is one way that I do things. Okay, I've got CAS for you guys. Here's a CAS update. Okay, here's this CAS play. So this was one of the charts that I had for you guys in Sniper Club in my section, and I left these two setup options. So basically what I've been doing on some of the days is leaving areas of interest. When we're having a meltdown again, we never know exactly where the meltdown is going to end. But what I can tell you guys, or what I do know, is where we're going to get reactions. And I can tell you where the hot zones are and those types of things. So there were multiple charts in the Sniper Club that I set up for you guys where I gave you two types of entries, two areas of interest, and CAS was one of them. And this was an absolute banger. But I closed mine today when we hit this 50-day moving average. I exited this CAS. You can see why. For me, it was a resistance area. It was an area where I wanted to take some profit. But now the interesting thing here is CAS has now reclaimed this 50-day MA. So there might be a trade right now brewing on CAS. If you want to use the 50-day moving average and these horizontals as your support base, okay, you can see what we've got here. We have 12-hour candles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's too many to even count how much support we had here in this region. And we've just sliced through this thing on the first go. We've just cut through this major support region. And this could be a sign for us that with the 50-day MA and these horizontals, this could be, for leverage traders, this could be worth a look here for a potential long, because your risk right now would be a close under this region. And your risk is round about, say, 2.5% at the moment, if you are interested in this CAS play. So look out for that. It could be a potential mover. Once this thing starts moving, you want to make sure you de-risk as quickly as possible, and you want to start bringing up your stops and all these types of things. So if this thing starts pumping, this is a support base you can work from. Anything down to about 0.1434, anything down to that sort of level should, based on what we're looking at in front of us, should offer you some degree of support here in this area. And we'd like to see this thing now push up from that level. So eyes on that at the moment. 50-day MA, horizontals, 12-hour, all these types of things. And, you know, don't go massive here. Okay? Don't go like absolute massive in something like this. You want to just play it easy. Remember, we've had a big move here today so far. And if this thing starts pulling back, your next main feasible area for CAS, okay, 0.13. Okay, that's your next main feasible area. So if you start pulling back and it starts pulling lower, don't try 50 different long positions all the way down, you know, while down this candle. You know, let it breathe, let it come down, then you strike. at the bottom. Don't try 50 longs, or 5-minute candles, all those types of things in that region. Wait for the big zones always. Okay, so right now we've broken a big zone. Look for support. If the support's not there, you look at the next bigger level lower down. Okay, what else is going on here? I'm just reading these chats. Fatima is saying 𝗬𝗢𝗖𝗨𝗥𝗔𝗗𝗪 is flying. That's nice. Okay, I don't have any 𝗬𝗢𝗪. That's irritating. Let me guess. Pepe's also probably moving. What else we got? Nia questions. You got lots of questions on Nia. Eh? Lots of questions on Nia. I'm just scrolling through these chats. Okay, AVAX. Let me see what the other one I've got for you is TON Network. Okay, so here's TON Network. Potential setup for you guys. So I wanted to just give you a potential setup. We know Run is super bullish on TON and all these types of things, and this was something worth looking at for me. So TON had a nice little move yesterday and started a little pullback, and what I did for Sniper Club and what I'm giving you guys here as well, potential zones of interest. Where can I get a bullish pullback? Where can I get a potential entry here for TON now after this nice little move? What am I looking for? So entry number one is the 4 level. Okay, so if we push back to round about 4, that is for me a potential entry zone for TON. That is actually the best looking entry zone that we can see here, because it ties in with this rising trend. So there's a nice little support base for you. Look at 4 as your support, and then remember, if you lose 4, you've still got this rising trend. So you can't get too bearish until we are confirmed that we've lost this rising trend, and that's going to look something along these lines. It's going to come with a reaction at the 618. I have no doubt if we lose that trend, that is where we're going to get a bounce, and there'll be a potential trade on there. But the real test then is going to be once we hit resistance. Are they going to send us lower, or do we reclaim that area? So remember, when you lose a rising trend, there's always some kind of reaction a little bit lower down on the trend. You want to identify a horizontal or a big fib or a big moving average a little bit lower on the trend. That's normally where you get a nice little reaction, you get a nice little bounce. That could also be a nice way to exit a position if you're bleeding in it. You could get a nice little reaction and they can push you up, and then you can start jumping out, or just a typical reaction zone where you know that you can get some kind of bounce. That's it. We smashed it all. Okay, we nailed that, guys. Tomorrow is another day, Friday. I'm covering the normal tokens for sure. And then don't forget, I've got my special guest here. He's actually going to give you some education. Okay, so if you're getting flashed and you're getting wrecked on meme coins because you don't know which ones to buy and how to buy them, come to see me tomorrow. Okay, I'm bringing a special guest. He's going to educate you. Okay, he's involved in these things. He knows how they operate. He knows what's going to help you guys. So we'll see you tomorrow. Good luck with your trading. Let's see if these nice bullish levels hold for us. We're going to be smiling tomorrow. These trades are going to be cooking. If they don't hold for us, you know what? I'll have a plan for you. Okay, we'll figure it out. And you won't go into that weekend alone without some kind of plan. Okay, see you guys later.